Welcome to Inspired Living with Cynthia, your weekly dose of purpose, passion, and perspective. This is the space where real conversations meet real inspiration, where we uncover the tools, stories, and insights that help you live boldly, think clearly, and walk confidently into the life you were created for. So settle in, open your heart, and get ready to be uplifted, challenged, and inspired. This is Inspired Living with Cynthia. This podcast is brought to you by Jarrett Gordon Ford Davenport, your Davenport Ford dealer for new and used sales.
Welcome back to Inspired Living with Cynthia, where we explore the journeys, lessons, and purpose-driven paths that inspire us to live fully and intentionally. I'm your host, Cynthia, and today I'm thrilled to welcome a phenomenal guest to our show. Jasmar Jazz Bennett is an accomplished educational leader, a dedicated mother of two, a dynamic fellow podcaster, an event host who has spent over 2 decades, yes, 2 decades, fusing her passion for education and media. She is the creator and host of an award-winning podcast, Jazzy Conversations with Jazz, where she celebrates the power of the comeback. And that's every Monday night. She was recognized in 2022 with a Leadership in Media Award from the Lakeland NAACP. Jazz is a proud graduate of Florida AME University and National Louis University. She's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and currently serves as the community liaison and program director for the Academy Prep School of Lakeland. Jazz, welcome to Inspired Living.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here. Great intro. Good job.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Um, well, we're going to get right into it. As you know, my show is called Inspired Living. So it's, and as I was thinking about it, it's kind of similar to your show, talking about the comeback and
Yeah.
just sharing people's incredible life journeys and hopefully inspiring other people that they can do it too.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
let's talk about your journey and education, your FAMU Foundation.
Yeah.
You hold a bachelor's degree in journalism from Florida AME. AME.
All right, we're going to take it to church.
Yeah. From, let me just say, FAMU. How did your time at an HBCU and specifically your journalism studies shape the way you use your voice today?
So, graduating from the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, the highest of 7 hills,
All right.
where the rattlers will strike, strike, and strike again. You don't even have to say all of that. So, graduating from the top HBCU in the nation, and then matriculating from the School of Journalism, which is a coveted, nationally ranked journalism school in our nation. It afforded me the opportunity to use my voice in a powerful and confident way. You know, when you go to Florida A&M University, you learn how to introduce yourself in a specific way. You learn how to lead with excellence, with service, with caring. Everything that the institution was founded upon, but knowing the wealth of knowledge and experiences that the professors in J School have, and then hearing about the alumni that have come from the School of Journalism,
Right.
it just puts you in this mind state that you are unstoppable and that your voice can be heard on any platform, whether it's locally or whether it's a nationally, globally syndicated platform. And so I was just told when I went to J School that you got to jump in. Don't wait for anybody to ask you. You jump in and you just ask them. I went to J School, didn't know how to edit, didn't know how to do anything, and someone taught me how to edit on the equipment that we had, because we didn't have high school equipment, we had college equipment. Um, and what I fell in love with was the radio. And so that's why podcasting means so much to me. Like, literally physically having professional equipment like this microphone. I go by the coin phrase, all I need is one mic. And I got that from my start with being on WANM University 90.5, which is our campus station.
Okay.
And so going to FAMU just allowed me to be very confident in using my voice ever since my freshman year, because I was on the radio since my freshman year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you just jumped in.
I did. I did not wait. I was so eager because I wanted to be an entertainment reporter in LA.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to work for BET. That was my dream. I always wanted to be a disc jockey for BET and for MTV. I wanted to host the award shows. I wanted to do the interviews, and so yeah, I just jumped head in.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You also have a master's in educational leadership, and you spent 2 decades,
Yes.
as I said earlier, fusing the two together,
Yes.
education with your hosting. Did you always know you wanted to blend media and education, or did that path kind of reveal itself over time?
No, I did not. It revealed itself over time. And the funny story, like, I always trace it back, and I'm like, God, this had to be you. It just had to be you, because we all know what teachers make. We all know what the educational field, we just hear the stories about the lack of
Right.
advancement in education, right? And so what I will say is that I have always been a great student, straight A student or honor roll student. I've always loved school. I always tutored. I tutored my friends. I used to tutor my classmates. I literally did like high school athletes, like just guys I was dating. They were high school athletes. They were like, "Well, you're smart." Like I would tutor them, and I loved it. So when I graduated, when I matriculated from college, I came home because I decided to not do an ambitious road trip to LA without having a job. My grandmother lived in LA, and I had a classmate that was going out to LA. He had the same dreams that I did. He was braver than I was. I wanted to settle myself and have a surefire either internship or a job waiting on me in LA before I took that leap.
Right.
And so he left without me. And so when I came home, I got to get a job, right? And so I ended up being a substitute teacher with Polk County Public Schools. And when I became a teacher with Polk County Public Schools, there was a teacher at my old school at Gibbon Street Elementary. Her name is Miss Ruby Young. Hi, Miss Young. I'm talking about you. I stepped foot into a kindergarten classroom, and I love kindergartners. And some kind of way, that teacher ended up being on an extended leave. I had her class. Then a first grade teacher ended up being on an extended leave. And I had her class for almost half a year.
Oh, wow.
And Miss Ruby Young, she taught me how to use the printer. I legitly became an elementary school teacher. And Miss Ruby Young came to me and she said, "You're gonna stick with education." And I was like, "Miss Ruby, please don't put that on me. Like, don't speak that into existence, please, because this is just until I get my big job in LA." And so it's like I took job after job, Union Academy. I actually was offered a job at Union Academy. I was offered a job at Lake Wells High School because I love math. I loved every subject. I'm not gonna lie, I was a nerd. I loved everything. Like I was put in a classroom where the administrators would have to come. Like it was a classroom that had windows, and they were like, "Okay, the first thing, keep the windows open." And I would literally see the admin. They kept coming by the room, and I'm like, "These kids are cool." And the crazy thing about it, it was a tennis instructor that was teaching the algebra class. And so I just started talking to the students and I said, "Do you guys know how to, do the algebraic expressions? Do you know whatever?" So I just got on the board and I just started doing the problems. And I noticed how they were astute and they started paying attention.
Right, right.
And so I was like, okay, because I had been at elementary school. I said, okay, high school. I look like high schoolers. And so I never wanted to go to high school because I looked too much like them. I looked young, but they really respected me. And they offered me a job. But then I went to Dixieland. And I ended up getting a third grade class where this teacher didn't come back. And so I kept landing substitute positions like that. And they ended up offering me the job. Like, I don't even remember applying for the job, but they said that they had my resume and all of that because I also applied at Bay News 9. And I was also in talks with Bay News 9 to become a producer. But when I called my professors and I told them what the contract was and all of that, it was a 3-year contract. How much do you think they were trying to pay me?
I don't even want to try to guess.
Okay. $19,000.
Oh, wow.
$19,000. And the teaching job paid more than that. And so I ended up taking the teaching position because my heartstrings were pulled at that time. And I literally worked my way up from being a substitute teacher, reading coach, assistant principal, and then being in the principal's pool. And so that's how that story ended.
Kind of unfolded.
It did. But journalism was always still there. So I was like, give me a microphone and I will be completely happy. So
yeah. Awesome. So that's really intriguing. That's really intriguing.
It found me. For sure.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your community work, your leadership and mentoring. You've had an award-winning impact. You were recognized with the 2022 Leadership and Media Award by the Lakeland NAACP, as I said earlier. How do you feel to have your community recognize your impact in such a significant way?
I will tell you that it made me feel so proud because the story behind me even starting my podcast, I have this degree in journalism and I had a full ride to FAMU I knew my parents couldn't pay for school, for my schooling, and my goal was to not have them have to pay because I'm the youngest of five. I'm the youngest of six, and so by the time, like, my closest sibling and I are 13 years apart, so my parents were done. You know what I mean? They were done. So I knew what it was in the household, and the charge for me was I don't want them to have to pay for anything for my schooling, and thankfully I got a full ride, and so um my dad, when I graduated, he always would ask me, how much is that job paying? Because I know in his mind, he wanted to have a sense of accomplishment by knowing that he sent his daughter off to school and she came home with a degree that was making more than he was when he was at retirement age, and I didn't hit it. And so when I did hit it, he was gone. Like, I lost him. I lost him. I take that back. Actually, I did. He did get to see it. He saw it the year that he passed because with my administrative salary, I did. I beat him. I did beat him. And so, but we never had that conversation. Is what I'm saying. When so we never circled back to that conversation. But I wanted him. I wanted to make him proud. I wanted him to not feel that getting that degree was in vain because it really was a passion of mine, and it still is a passion that will never go away. And so I remember being at a Thanksgiving dinner and someone telling me, Jazz, you got to get your voice out there. Like, you have like an amazing voice. Like, everyone has always complimented me on my voice. And so when I lost my father, the year after that, I went back to FAMU's homecoming, and it was like my mecca because I needed to go back to the place where I felt birthed this gift, or that I was able to really execute the fact that I had this gift. And when I tell you, I was laser focused, like, I was with my friends and everything, but I literally was in a zone. I went to J school. I followed like the steps. I was interviewing here. I went to the radio station. It's just like, I knew that when I came back home, I was going to start my podcast. And that very next Monday, I was in it just happened. It's just like I felt like when I gave God my yes, He opened up all these doors. A studio became available to me. I had a friend from high school that had a podcast studio, and this was like when really nobody really in Polk County was doing podcasting, not the way it looks. Like, people may go live or people may do it in some form, but to have these mics, to be able to have it on a streaming platform, to legitly have it be global, like, that's where I was. And I wasn't thinking about accolades. I was thinking about, I know that God gave me this vision because I've always loved the underdog. I've always loved that story of how did you overcome this? And I get that from my son because I always call him my comeback kid. This boy will start off low, then go high. Start off low, then go high. And it's just like, you are literally my comeback kid. And I always labeled my students at my school who were in the lowest quartile, they were my comeback kids because I was like, it doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to help you get there. So it wasn't about the awards, but to see that my hard work was recognized and people were starting to see it, because when the people that I had on my podcast early on, and for them to be very vulnerable and share their experiences and it touched people around them, it was making an impact. And I wasn't doing it for show. I was doing it for purpose. So to see that purpose met an award, I was like, okay, like, I got something here. It felt great. A long way to answer your question, but it felt great.
Oh, I'm sure.
Amazing.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Between your role as a community liaison program director for Academy Prep,
yes,
in Lakeland, and serving on the board of Girls Leave a Mark, I love that program,
yes,
by the way. Youth leadership is clearly close to your heart. What is the most important lesson you try to instill in young girls and students you mentor?
I'm a dreamer, and I also have a vision. I'm a visionary also. I just went to FAMU's summer graduation ceremony, and one of the alumni who helped Will Packard and all of these people when he came out with his movie Chocolate City and all of that, he spoke to the graduates and he said, it's great to be a dreamer, but you need to be a visionary. And that message stuck with me, and I was like, well, I'm both of them, but ultimately I'm a dreamer. Like, my office literally has dreams, something with dreams all around it, because that's just me. I like, you have a grandson, kids. When you talk to them about what they want to be, I want to be Spider-Man, or I want to be the president, or they have these huge
Right,
dreams,
right, right.
and they truly feel like they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what stops them from believing in their dreams? Adults.
Yep, other people.
Who try to say, okay, let's be practical. Let's be realistic. I hate that. I hate when adults do that to kids, because what they should be doing is saying, let's figure out how bad you want your dreams. And if this is what you truly want to do, if this is what you are passionate at, let's make it happen. So what I tell people, the kids that I mentor, the kids that have been in my presence, is you absolutely can do anything that you put your mind to. So that's why my mantra with that comeback story is that you have to have God. You have to use the right resources effectively, and you have to put in the necessary work. And I truly believe that when you do all three of those things, your dreams can come true. So when I mentor someone and they tell me they want to do something, I say, why do you feel like you can't do it? Because I know somebody who's doing it, and let me link you to them. So that's what I always tell you.
Got to create those links for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, I know that you're passionate about this as well. Let's talk motherhood and inspired living. You are a mother of 2 sons.
Yes.
An educational leader and a podcast host and a community advocate. What does the balance actually look like for you, or is balance a myth?
What balance? What balance? Like, I feel like I'm doing a little Kim dance sometimes. Like, when the balance. So, I felt that the balance that I had was the balance between me being there for my kids, being a mother, and me also being there for my school. But then I started to realize I can't pour from an empty cup. And so in my purview, it was like, okay, I'm a mother now, so that takes top priority. And then I started to put my kids above me. I started to put my job before me, at some point, like at an interval. But I feel like chasing that dream was always at the forefront too. And I think I made the misconception of me chasing my dream was me doing something for me, but it wasn't. So I am now more intentional about doing things and all of this stuff makes me happy. It truly does.
Right.
But Jazz, the woman, what are you doing for her? Not Jazz, the ambitious professional, or the mom, or the educational leader, but as the woman. And so now we're getting that balance.
Getting a little balance.
We're getting a little balance.
Okay. We talk about inspired living.
Yeah.
When your cup is running empty, where do you go, or what do you do to find your inspiration and recharge?
So, definitely to recharge, I like to eat. Okay. I really do. I am a foodie to my core. I love seafood. I love Italian food. I love Asian food. I just love great food. And I love great dining experiences, like from start to end. And so I'll typically take myself out to a restaurant. I date myself. I'll take myself out to a nice restaurant. And I love live music. Like, I literally get recharged with music and food. Like, that's just my go-to.
That's my go-to. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that. I love music myself. Now, I'm not so much of a foodie, but I like to eat.
But yeah. Yes.
You know, my niece is more of a foodie. She talks about how this is made, and you know, when she goes to different cities, she's got to try this that she saw on the internet.
Absolutely.
I'm not there. But, You know.
See, me and your niece could hang. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you talked a little bit about how you got the name for your podcast. Um, so you want to share a little bit more about how you chose?
So I'm going to tell you that I'm going to be very honest. I completely feel like I am so off brand. I just, so the story, the story is, my nickname is Jazz. Um, my real name is Jazz Mar. And so again, a lot of people always told me, Jazz, you need to have your own show. Like, if you want to be on the radio, this was when radio was still the only platform where your voice was the star of the media platform.
Right.
And so someone said, if you get your own show, like, what would you call it? And I just started brainstorming, because I have people, Miss Cynthia, coming to me. They will come to me with these ideas of what I should do. And I'm like, well, are you going to help me do this? Like, you give me all these ideas of what you see me doing, but I need a team behind me. So I've had a lot of great ideas over the years. I have yet to find that team. I'm just going to make that known. So if there's somebody who wants to be a part of my team, let me know, because I have this live show on November 7th that but he told me, he said, your name is so unique that you should have your name in the show, because there's nobody that's going to have your name.
Right.
So it was more so about me branding, just me. I wanted to keep something. And someone one day just said, because you're so jazzy or whatever. And I was just going back and forth. And I was like, okay, something catchy. And I was like, I was going to do conversations with Jazzmar. And then I was like, that just sounds so formal. But now I wish I would have done that, to be quite honest with you. And I may rebrand it, and it may just be Conversations with Jazzmar. But then it's like Jazzy Conversations with Jazz would not leave my head.
Right.
I literally was on my couch one day and I created my logo. Like, I did a show one year, and because the quality wasn't how I wanted it, like, I did have people that believed in my dream. We set up a live podcast segment at the museum. It's the Ashley Barnett Museum now in Lakeland, but nobody was filming a podcast episode in a museum. Like I had this vision. I borrowed one of my friend's bar stools from her house. I had a guest. She shared her story, but I didn't like the quality of the production.
Right.
And so I went dark. Like, I came out strong, and then I just went dark. I went dark for a whole year because it wasn't how I wanted it to be. And one day I was on my couch, and I just felt like God just woke me up. Like, I just sat up and started playing around on my phone and created my logo, created the name of the podcast. That's how the name came. I'm just going to tell you, that's how the name came.
Just the inspiration. So you have to do what you have to do.
Right. And I feel like it's a catchy name, but when your podcast fits what your podcast is about. I just feel like my podcast is, but nobody really even catches me on that. Like, nobody even thinks, like, why do you call it that? Why do you call it that versus, like, nobody's ever said that to me, but I feel it. I feel like.
You kind of feel it.
Yeah, I feel like it should be something relevant to the comeback. So that's how the name of that's how the name of my podcast came about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's okay.
Well, that was an important call, apparently.
Listen, people do it to me all the time. I'm like, why are you not watching the podcast right now? Why are you calling me?
Yeah, that was my brother. I'm going to get him because he knows that I'm on the air. But okay, now I'm gonna go off strip just a little bit. Tell me about one of the most inspiring, or the most I'm going to say the best, but yeah, the most inspiring comeback story that you've had over the course of 7 years?
Mm-hmm.
7 years.
5 years. So it'll be 5 years come November 1st. So I always have my podcast, my live events for the anniversary show, like that first Saturday of the month, but it'll be 5 years. Oof. I've had over 180 episodes.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes those episodes have had more than one person on it. Like if it's a friend group or if it's a team that's a company. But when I hear that question, one story that sticks out, her name is Gretchen. Her name is Gretchen Suarez, and she was my second guest on my podcast. She's a classmate's sister, younger sister. And when she came on my podcast, I was watching a lot of people I just watch on Facebook, or I just observe. I'm a keen observer, right? And so I was just looking at her and I'm like, I know you because we went to high school and you were in Bartow IB's program, but we're grown now. Like I'm in my 40s now. She probably just turned 40, or she's in her, late 30s. And I'm looking at you, and we have these pathways that we think people's lives should go, because she's an engineer. She's a civil engineer, excuse me. But then I started seeing things like her post, the fact that she's on a morning show, a morning radio show. And I'm like, how do you go from civil engineering to being on a syndicated morning talk show? And then she was talking about the fact that she wanted to be a playwright. And so I'm like, these things just don't go together. I like her because she's like me. I'm doing education. I'm doing broadcasting. I'm like, she seems like a dream chaser. I get her on my podcast, and she talks to me about the pressures that she had to overcome by being in the IB program. Like it is a very strenuous program that these kids are placed in. Like they are knocking off two years of college by going through this program as high schoolers, and they can be very smart. They can be off the charts smart, but can you handle it emotionally and socially? And so she went on and she was telling the story about her having to overcome that. She was telling the story about how in her heart of hearts, she's always wanted to be a playwright. She knew she was smart and she knew she could do the engineering route, and that's what she did. But she talked about the pressures of her not following her passions, whereas it took her down the road that she was contemplating suicide.
Oh my goodness.
And no one knew it. Of course, nobody knows it. Nobody really knows when people are like, you could really not tell, right? You couldn't tell by looking at her, and it was something that shocked me on the show because I would have never guessed that. And she just said when God brought her through that, she decided that she was going to pursue her dreams. After that podcast, not even a year after she was on that podcast, she literally did exactly what she said she wanted to do, because she's Puerto Rican and she wanted to honor not only her Cuban roots, Puerto Rican roots, but she wanted to honor her African roots, because they're all intertwined. And she literally did a one woman play where she paid homage to both sides of her culture.
Oh, wow.
And she sold out shows in a Tampa theater. And it was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm watching this girl's story unfold before my eyes. Like I literally got to sit down and talk to her when she was just thinking it. Now this girl has her own production. She's won award after awards. She's moved out of town to pursue her passion. She actually teaches theater.
Wow.
And is selling out plays. Yeah. She's been in New York on Broadway. So that was the most inspiring story, that I was just like, oh my gosh, like you are doing what you said you were going to do, and you overcame your situation. So
you have to follow your passion.
You do. You do.
Yeah. You can kind of get locked into doing things to make money.
Yeah.
You can get locked into things that other people think that you should be
Very
doing.
True.
And but if it's not truly your passion, you're not going to be satisfied.
Absolutely.
You can be making six figures and just not be satisfied.
Let me tell you something. Like I have met people like that because I want to make money. Like people like in my career right now, like when we have these conversations now about what drives you, I'm not even gonna hold you. Like I am passionate, and I know that I will never go away from what's passionate to me. Mm-hmm. But now my mission is to discover how to make it lucrative, because I'm gonna be a multimillionaire. I really am. And so I am now. My trajectory is I'm following my passion, so I know the money is gonna come. But I've talked to people who have been multimillionaires and they're not happy, and I just look at them like, what? Like I know your life should be easier, but you're not happy. Like why? And I'm just like, yeah, if you could reverse it, like what would you do? So you are absolutely right, but that just puzzles me. because the only thing missing from my life right now is the millions. And then when I talk to people who have the millions, it's just like, why are you not happy?
Right.
But it's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
It's true. Well, we're going to do a round of rapid fire questions now as
Okay.
we wind down this interview. Thank you so much for being willing to share.
Absolutely.
So let's do this rapid fire round so that they can
Okay.
get to know you just a little bit better.
Okay.
All right. The power of the comeback in just one word.
God.
Mm,
God.
absolutely. Yeah. Best piece of advice you've ever given one of your students or mentees.
To believe in themselves and follow their passions, because the money will come.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is your absolute go-to song when you need an instant energy boost before going live?
So surprisingly, I don't use music as a motivator before I go live. But what I will say is a song that gets me like really, really crunk, like to do my song is, or to do my podcast is the song that I use for my intro, and the song that I always play at my podcast events. It's Coily Ray's No Parties. And if you listen to it, one of her lines is, I'm off the better things. I'm only doing things. Um, I'm only doing things that's gonna make me elevate. I only want people around me that's gonna make me elevate. And then it's just, yeah, about the better things. I only want people around me that's gonna make me elevate. And so it just goes into a mantra of that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that one up. I'm not
Do the
sure.
clean version.
Do the what?
Do the clean version.
Oh, okay.
Do the edited
Okay,
version.
so there's another version.
Yeah, there's another version. Do the clean version.
Thank you for that. Okay. Um, if your life story was a headline right now,
Ooh.
what would it say?
Ooh, what would it say? What would it say? Um, it would say jazz and transformation.
Okay. All right. Um, one thing you must have in your hand or on your desk while you're hosting.
Oh, there really isn't a thing.
Okay.
I like a lot of light, and I know that's not something that I have to have in my hand or um, in my sight, but I just like brightness.
Okay.
It just gives me energy.
Okay. What's the best lesson your two sons have taught you?
That I can do it.
Okay.
That I can make it. I'm a single mom, but I didn't set out to be a single mom, and I actually was with their dad for a long time before they even came along, and afterwards too. But I always had this mindset because my dad was the type of man that wanted to keep his family together, and I come from a blended family, so he does have other kids from my mom. But I just remember one of our deep conversations that we had was, if you can make it work, be there, make sure that your kids have a fighting chance.
Right.
And honestly, in this relationship, though there was love in this relationship at one time, when it was not there and we were no longer compatible and couldn't make it work, I realized that I stayed longer because I was doubting if I could do it by myself. I didn't want a narrative for my kids. I didn't want my kids to be without. And so that was something I was very fearful of. But my dad always taught me to have my own. So I always had my own house aside from his. I always had those things in place, but I was like, I don't know if I can. I had two kids,
Right.
and we didn't try for them. And we put measures in place that we did not try for them, but they're here. So I know that they were meant to be here. They taught me, Mom, you can do it.
Okay.
Mom, you are equipped to do it. So
That's an awesome lesson. Awesome lesson. All right. What's your favorite spot in Lakeland to unwind or think?
my favorite spot in Lakeland. So I love houses. And I've always loved houses since I was little. Like, I wanted to be an architect at one time, and a lot of people don't know this. Like, I literally used to buy like home books, like when you check out in the grocery store line. Instead of asking my mom for candy, I would ask for these books. They were architecture books. Like, I know, weird, right? So I have a certain neighborhood that I ride in, that I want to live in, and so I go there and I envision myself living in these houses. So I always take a long drive and say, "This is your future."
Okay. All right. All right. Early bird or night owl?
Definitely a night owl. I am still not a morning person. I literally created a job opportunity where I don't have to be working until 10:30. That's bad, right? That's horrible, but it's not really horrible. It's just the fact that I have been able to create my own lane how I wanted to make my life. But I'm like, Lord, people who are really goal getters and multimillionaires, I got to change that, because if I want to be a multimillionaire, I got to get up.
Well, I'm a night owl, and yeah, no early bird for this girl.
Yeah.
Uh, what's one word that would describe the legacy you want to leave behind?
I can't say it in one word. Um, if I had to say it in one word, I think it would just be impact.
Okay. Okay.
And I say that because I look at a lot of people who have left behind like these scholarship endowments,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gone, but their impact is still here,
Right.
impacting
Right.
the future.
Right. Yep. Impact. I like that. Complete this sentence.
What you got for me?
This is the last one.
Okay.
Living an inspired life means.
The responsibility to find what God has purpose for your life and do exactly that.
Okay. God has purpose. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier with, making sure you do your passion.
Yes.
And you must make sure that passion aligns with God's purpose.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to close with two things, give you an opportunity to talk to the audience. Um, what's the next big thing for the comeback or milestone you're working towards right now?
So the next big thing definitely is my 5-year anniversary um, podcast live show. So I do a live show every year where it's a combination of vendors. We have live music, live interviews, and um, it's in like a studio format, like a talk show format. I get to have my Oprah on. But we have, vendors, and we just turn it into an event, an interactive event. But the big thing coming is I am embarking on having definitely a home for the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast, because yes, now we are streaming on StreamYard. It is still available on all podcast platforms, but I want a professional look. I want because I want to be able to go after advertising and sponsors. So I want a studio that's all mine.
Understood. Okay. All right. Last question. Where can our listeners find you?
So they can find me on any podcast streaming platform of their choice. I go live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, IG, and on YouTube. And so that's how they can find me. And I do live events. So I bring my podcast travels. So there's a booking for that. And then I also have the live event that I do for my anniversary show.
Okay, that's awesome.
And you can also book me to host your favorite event. Because I am an event host as well.
I was going to say that. You just recently hosted our Juneteenth
Yes,
program.
I did. And that was amazing. You all did a phenomenal job with that program. Yes.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you on Saturday night at the FAMU
Absolutely. I cannot wait.
Soiree.
The soiree.
I was like, okay, what's a soiree?
We're going to soiree. Do you hear me? We're gonna have an amazing time, and it's at a great location. The president is coming, so she has committed to coming. We have a great guest speaker, and I'm honored to be the MC there. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you there.
Yep. So again, thank you so much for coming. I certainly appreciate the time.
Anytime.
And sharing your story.
Anytime. Thank you so much for having me.
You're more than welcome. We'll have you back when you get all of that, get your own studio.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. I hope you were inspired to know that you can do it too. Just follow your passion and align your passion with your purpose from God. This is Cynthia signing off from Inspired Living.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Inspired Living with Cynthia, your weekly dose of purpose, passion, and perspective. I hope today's conversation encouraged you, empowered you, and gave you something meaningful to carry into your week. Remember, inspiration isn't just something you hear, it's something you live. So take what you've learned, apply it with courage, and keep moving toward the life that's calling you. Until next time, reminding you to stay inspired, stay intentional, and stay true to your purpose. Have a blessed and beautiful week. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Inspired Living
This
with
podcast
Cynthia,
was brought to you
your
by
weekly dose
Jarrett
of
Gordon
purpose.
Ford Davenport, your Davenport Ford dealer for new and used sales, with 1,868 new and used Fords in stock. Visit us to test drive any of Ford's new vehicles, from the best-selling F-150 truck to the all-electric Mustang Mach-E compact crossover. Ford's latest models offer world-class comfort, cutting-edge infotainment, innovative driver safety aids, and turbocharged power. Jarrett Gordon Ford